was his wife, and a little girl said, the little girl said, could I talk to you? And she had this, I couldn't understand what she had in her hand. It looked like a teddy bear or something. And she said, can I talk to you, Mr. She wasn't sure what to call me. I wasn't elected yet. Mr. President or Mr. Vice President. I said, sure, what's the matter, honey? She said, I want to give you something. I want to give you some bear's ears. I looked at her, and she gave me this little set of bear's ears. She said, you've got to promise me. You got to promise me. You'll protect the bear's ears. And I'm thinking, what the heck is we... I mean, at the time, I knew bear's ears, but I didn't quite get it. She said, her dad said, you know, a national park. I said, oh, yes. She said, and she went and looked, she said, you promise. You promise. And I promised. And it's the easiest promise that I've made in a long time. I'm grateful to the tribal nation leaders and both those who are here with us today and those who are unable to join us. Today, I'm proud to announce the protection and expansion of three of the most treasured national monuments, our most treasured. Based on powers granted to the President under the Antiquities Act, first used more than a century ago by Teddy Roosevelt. First, Bears Ears National Monument in Utah. This is the first national monument in the country to be established at the request of federally recognized tribes, and a place of healing, as was spoken by the Secretary, a place of reverence, a sacred homeland to hundreds of generations of Native peoples. The last administration reduced the size by 85%, leaving vulnerable more than 1 million acres of cherished landscape. Today, we shall shortly be signing a proclamation to fully restore the boundaries of Bears Ears. And second, I'm restoring Utah's Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, a place of unique and extraordinary geology as well as biodiversity, established as a national monument 25 years ago this month. Over the last quarter century, this land has produced a significant scientific discoveries per acre than more than any other national monument, everything from fossils to ancient indigenous artifacts. And once again, the last administration cut the size of the monument nearly in half, stripping away more than 800,000 protected acres. Today, I'm signing a proclamation to restore it to its full glory. Third, off the coast of New England, I'm restoring protection of the Northeast Canyons and Seamounts Marine National Monument. Waters teeming with life, with underwater canyons as deep as parts of the Grand Canyon and underwater mountains as tall as the Appalachians. There's nothing like it in the world. Because its unique biodiversity, marine scientists believe that this is a key to understanding life under the sea. President Obama established it as a national monument 5 years ago, recognizing its irreplaceable value. Again, my predecessor chipped away at its protections. The proclamation I'll be signing today is going to restore protections established by President Obama when this monument was first created. Excuse me. The protection of public lands must not become, I should say, a pendulum that swings back and forth depending on who's in public office. It's not a partisan issue. And I want to thank the members of Congress who have come together to support this important conservation work. And by the way, I might add, as a matter of courtesy, I spoke with both the senators from Utah. They didn't agree with what I was doing, but they were gracious and polite about it, and I appreciate that as well. The truth is, national monuments and parks are part of the identity as our identity as a people. There are more than natural wonders. They're the birthright we pass from generation to generation, a birthright of every American. And preserving them is the fulfillment of a promise to our children and all those who will come to leave this world a little better than we found it. But today, our children are 3 times more likely to see climate disasters uproot and unsettle their lives than their grandparents' generation. We have to come together and understand why this work is so critical. When we protect and care for a forest, we're not just preserving the majesty of nature. We're safeguarding water sources and lessening the impact of fires. The impact of fires. We're protecting wetlands. We're not only saving birds and fish and the livelihoods of people who depend on them, we're also shoring up the natural defenses to absorb the fury of hurricanes and superstorms. Nearly 1 in 3 Americans live in a community that has been struck by weather disasters just in the last few months. Hurricanes, wildfires, droughts, heat waves. Both the Build Back Better plan and my bipartisan infrastructure agreement are going to make critical investments, significantly increasing the resilience to these devastating effects on the climate crisis. It includes creation of a civilian climate corps, similar to President Franklin Roosevelt's Civilian Conservation Corps, which is going to put diverse groups of Americans to work doing everything from restoring wetlands to protecting clean water to making forests more resilient against wildfires. My plan also puts Americans on a course to achieve 50 to 52% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and to reach net zero emissions no later than 2050. You know, achieving these ambitious goals is going to require that nature itself play a role. Scientists estimate that the protection and restoration of natural lands and waters can provide nearly 40% of the solutions to climate change. That's why I'm signing these proclamations today as an additional reason. It's also why I'm restoring protections for the Tongass National Forest in Alaska, which I've had the great honor to visit. As a matter of fact, when I was meeting with, back in the days when the senator from Alaska, I was with him after the oil spill on the North Slope, and we stopped in the Tongass Forest, and he sat me at a table in this magnificent restaurant in the middle of the Tongass Forest, which has tree trunks as big as those trees holding up the whole building. It's magnificent. And he sat me with what I kid and call Hoss Cartwright and his family. 4 big guys, really big guys, and they had a lumber company that they were foresting in the area, and they wanted me to support paying for roads into the national forest so they could forest. And we started the conversation. And to make a long story short, when I made it clear I wasn't going to do that, the father turned to his son, who looked like that program at Hoskart, big fella. And he said, I'll bet, I won't use the exact language. He turned to me, I'm across the table. And he's got he and 3 of his sons. And he said, I'll bet this so-and-so, referring to me, and expletive deleted, doesn't realize he's closer to Lexington, Kentucky today than he was when he just flew off the North Slope. And it made the point to me. Alaska's pretty big. There's an awful lot we need to protect. But that's why I'm working to protect Bristol Bay from mining operations that would threaten one of the world's largest salmon runs. That's why I'm refusing to sell out the Arctic National Wildlife Reserve to oil and gas traders. These protections provide a bridge to our past, but they also build a bridge to a safer, more sustainable future, one where we strengthen our economy and pass on a healthy planet to our children and our grandchildren. Let me close with this. Edward Abbey, a writer who once worked as a ranger at the Arches National Park in Utah, wrote, and I quote, "This is the most beautiful place on earth. There are many such places. Every man, every woman carries in heart and mind the image of the ideal place, the one true home, known or unknown, actual or visionary." End of quote. Folks, that's the United States of America. That's America. A country we all share together. A country that we must protect together. And this is just one more step in doing what other presidents have done, starting with Teddy Roosevelt. And I'm now going to sign these proclamations, and thank you all. Thank you all for your support. Thank you. Come on, guys. All right. First one I'm signing is Grand Staircase. All right. The second one I'm signing is the Bear's Ears.
Yes.
I wish I could remember that little girl's name. I hope she's watching. I hope she's watching.
Thank you for signing this, President.
You guys know it better than anybody. All right, here we go. I'm going to get you all pinned. And the third one I'm signing is the Northeast Canyons and Seamounts Marine National Monument. One. Somebody grab one who doesn't have one.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Next one. Next one. Next one.
I'm going to do the same back home, Mr. President. Thank you.
Next one.
I'm going to start adding middle names.
Going here. How many more? Can you get the rest of you guys?
Did you get one time?
Put a PS there.
Yeah. P.S. more to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, two more. Barack used to be able to do this to say Barack Obama, and he didn't give away 17 pens.
There you go.
One more. And if I don't have enough pens,
Do a hard sign.
everybody get one?
Yes.
Yes,
All right. Thank you all very much.